one of the few places I have not been to yet is Portugal. But I plan on getting there actually September of this year, which I cannot wait for. But it came at an interesting time where for me, I'm starting to have a lot of my clients who have totally immersed themselves in the New York, in the South Beach, in the LA, in the Hamptons markets, the domestic markets or the States markets, come to me and ask me, JB, what other opportunities are out there? Where can I figure out how to diversify my portfolio? What places make sense? Where do you see action happening outside of the States and around the world? And luckily at Nest Seekers, I think we've done a pretty good job of really trying to create this world that's really interconnected, that we can easily share resources and clients and ideas, kind of like what we're doing today. Yared approached me about 6 months or so ago. For those of you who don't know Yared, he is originally from Sweden, but has fully immersed himself in the Portuguese market, and has done a really tremendous job there to date. A multitude of sales ranging anywhere between €1 million up to 15 million euros, which we're lucky enough to be a part of listing together in a few different properties. But he's done a really nice job of coming up with a presentation today to just give it a high level overview of what's happening in Portugal. What are the hotspots? Where from a real estate investment standpoint does it make sense to think about purchasing or renting or getting into some of the spec building game? So it's really an honor to be here and be teamed up with Yared. And we're here to learn. And for those of you who want to connect with us after, if you have people looking in Portugal or really other places around that kind of the Mediterranean area, just let us know, and we're happy to connect offline. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Yared to give us a high level overview of what's happening in Portugal real estate and everything that's going on there.
All right. Thanks a lot, JB. As mentioned, I mean, obviously, both me and JB are working here within Nest Seekers. My name is Yared. I'm based here in the Lisbon office in Portugal with Nest Seekers. Been here for the last 3 years since we opened up shop here. Been living in Portugal for the last 7 years, going on 7 years. Live in an area called Cascais, which is around 20 minutes outside of Lisbon. Been here in that region for the last 7 years. Have 3 wonderful kids, 2 of them born here in Portugal. So like JB said, I'm pretty much immersed in the Portuguese culture. Everything except the bacalhau, which is a famous, I think all the Portuguese people are laughing now, which is a famous fish that I'm not big a fan of. But anyways, I mean, I'm happy everybody's here joining us today. So like JB mentioned, today we're going to kind of dive in regards to kind of the Portuguese market. This is just to give everybody a big overview in regards to why people are investing in Portugal, why people are choosing maybe to live in Portugal, some different regions that could be interesting. And then we're going to go through just a few properties that me and JB are working on together. And then we'll kind of open up for Q&A. If there is any, feel free to write in the chat box here next to it. And then once we're kind of wrapping up, we'll kind of take some questions. So we're not going to be super long. This is more just kind of give you an overhead and kind of some more food for thought and some context in regards to why people are kind of looking to invest in Portugal. Obviously, as we're working in an American firm, we're seeing kind of a growth from year to year in regards to the American market, looking into Portugal as an option. So we figured these webinars are kind of a great way to kind of start kick the understanding of what Portugal is and why people are kind of interested in it. So I will just share my screen here and we can kind of take it from there. So we'll do like that. So like I mentioned, so what we'll do here today is we'll go over some statistics and some areas in regards to Portugal. So Just to kind of a general overview in regards to Portugal. So Portugal is it's not a big country, obviously. So we have around 10 million population. I mean, it's almost the size of New York in regards to population. So it's not a big country, but it is something that they've done very well, I would believe, is in kind of keeping a good measurement in regards to safety and the global retirement index, which is something they're top of in the world of. So Portugal is actually one of the 4 safest countries in the world to live in, and one of the 4th places in regards to retirement index as well. So so those are kind of something to be very proud of for the Portuguese citizens, and something they keep a very good tabs on in regards to that. Also, I don't know if do you see the arrow here, JB? Do people see the arrow here? Do you see it? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So so just to kind of give you overhead before we kind of dive into some regions as well. But obviously you have the Lisbon region. You have Algarve down in the south region. We'll talk about the northern region, which is Porto, and then an area called Comporta as well. But let's start by kind of diving in. Okay, wonderful here. So obviously, so like I mentioned, so Portugal is based in the westernmost country in Europe. So it's this small little country nestled in the corner of Europe, obviously bordering to Spain, and then you have kind of the Atlantic Ocean. So it's only 10 million people, and Lisbon is obviously the capital in regards to that. So what they pride themselves and what they should be proud of is the rich culture heritage. So they have a long history, and that reflects its architecture, art, cuisine, culture, which is kind of one of the leading foremost in regards to what people know about the Portuguese countries. And then you have, obviously, the country has beautiful beaches, historical cities, amazing landscape. I mean, stretching all the way from the northern part with the Douro Valley, all the way down to the Algarve coast. We have 2 islands, the Azores and Madeira Island, which is absolutely spectacular as well, in regards to that. So obviously the Portugal has a mild climate, nice mild winters, decent summers, hot summers as well. Obviously Portugal is within the EU, so you are kind of part of the NATO, part of the EU Union. And then you have the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, so very much in the landscape of Porto and Sintra, where close to where I live as well. So you have a lot of history, a lot of historic centers as well. So just a kind of few questions in regards to kind of why people actually choose to live in Portugal, and we'll just highlight some things why people kind of have that as an option. So number one, I would obviously say is the lifestyle. So Portugal offers it's a high quality of life. It's a warm climate, beautiful beaches. You have a very relaxed lifestyle in regards to that. Combine that with the kind of the safetiness in regards to the country, so it becomes very much attractive for people who are kind of looking for those qualities in life, especially now when the world is a bit crazy. Places like Portugal becomes a little bit of a safe haven in regards to areas to live in. Combine that with kind of the cost of living. I mean, it's much lower than in other major capital cities in Europe. And then with the healthcare system, so Portugal has a modern healthcare system, and then with affordable, hold on one second there, with affordable medical procedures as well. You have public healthcare and private healthcare here as well. I mean, like I said, I have 3 kids, 2 of them born here, so we go to the hospital once in a while, and it's very good in compared. So okay, so and then you have like we mentioned earlier, so you have the safety and security. So Portugal is considered one of the most safest countries in Europe and in the world, with very low crime rate. Combine that also with a very good educational system. Here you have in Lisbon, and then where I live also in Cascais, you have very good international schools where you can kind of obviously follow the US curriculum. You have American schools here. You have very good British schools where you can follow the British curriculum, and obviously the Portuguese curriculum as well. Very high-end, good international schools that keep a high-end standard as well. And then obviously you have retirement, which you mentioned earlier, very favorable. You have the good climate, the low crime rate, and then something that maybe people don't talk about so much in Portugal is the business opportunities. So Portugal has a growing economy. I wouldn't say that the economy is as advanced as other countries in Europe, but that's also where the growing economy comes from, right? So here is the opportunity. So there's a lot of big companies that are starting investing here. You have Amazon, you have Google, you have Mercedes-Benz, just to name a few of them who are starting to open up shops here. If it's not factories, you have different areas of companies that are open call centers, because employment is very cheap here. So you have some of the biggest companies in the world are kind of opening up. And obviously you have the ocean next to it, you have the big Atlantic Ocean, so it becomes a strategic point as well. So it's I would say the business opportunities here is obviously we're talking in real estate here, but there's other industries as well that there would be a good opportunity for economic growth as well. So overall, obviously Portugal offers a big range of benefits for opportunities for people to kind of looking to invest. So you have the high quality of life, affordable cost of living, healthcare, safety, education. So it's obviously I'm a bit biased. I've been living here for the last 7 years, but as of living here, we really enjoy it, and it keeps a high standard of living, and it's a very relaxed country with the great people. One thing we haven't mentioned as well is the English speaking. It's very English speaking friendly country as well. I mean, if you go to other countries like Germany, Spain, France, the native tongue is pretty much paramount, but here in Portugal you can kind of most people speaks English, especially in the capitals as well. So my Portuguese has been limited towards that actually. So but very English friendly speaking country. So just to kind of dive in, why people would then choose to invest in Portugal, and what kind of people are looking at when they're investing in Portugal. So obviously you have affordable prices. So Portugal offers, relatively low property prices. Obviously, prices has gone up in Portugal for the last couple of years due to high demand. But in compared to other European countries, it's still affordable prices that offers obviously an attractive investment opportunity for investors. You also have a lot of tax benefits in regards to that. So Portugal is it's only 10 million people living here, and it's an aging population as well. So they're using different schemes in regards to tax benefits to get people to come invest and maybe even live here. That's their whole strategy in regards to that, because they need more people to come and live here due to that factor. And then obviously you have the rental market as well. So the job opportunities in Portugal is in Lisbon and in Porto, which is the two biggest cities. So obviously that's where all the people are moving after they're kind of done with their educational phase. And that's also where those rental markets are the strongest. But there's also good demand in the other parts of the country due to the tourism, right? So tourism plays a big part in the economic growth in the country. I think 1/3 of the country is more or less indirect dependent on tourism. So it's a big driving factor for the economic growth, and that also brings in the strong rental market as well. So you have a very strong rental market, affordable prices, and tax benefits as well in regards to this. Economic. So also one thing that people are looking at is obviously, like we mentioned before, is the economic growth. You have the quality of life, and something also worth to be mentioned is the stable political economic environment. Obviously, there's always room for improvement in regards to government, I believe, but if you compare it to other countries in the world, I think it's pretty stable and kind of easy to kind of understand and to operate. So that's just kind of an overall kind of view why people are looking to invest in Portugal and what they kind of been using as metrics to do so. And so you have a good capital appreciation. You have a very strong rental market, especially in the population areas as in Lisbon and Porto, but also in the bigger tourism areas as Algarve and Comporta, where you have a strong vacational demand as well as of now. And then you have tax breaks or tax benefits, if you will, in regards to the NHR status. You have different kind of visas you can apply for, and then combine that with the quality of life and the stable economic environment as well. So kind of that together is kind of making people look to Portugal as an investment. And just to kind of give you an overhead, we have some of the biggest developers in the world starting to do projects here. You have some of the biggest ones in Asia, in India. I mean, from all over the world. There's a big American company called Discovery Land that's doing a huge project here in Milides, where they're kind of building some amazing products. So there's a lot of interest for developers also looking to kind of do some big things here, because you have a lot of opportunity here. If it's not for tourism, then it's for housing purposes as well. So I think it's a very interesting time, and it's going to be interesting to moving forward to see how all this plays out in regards to that. But there's definitely some big players coming into the market. So that was a little bit about kind of why people choose to live in Portugal, and why people choose to invest in Portugal. So what we'll do now is I'll just go through just some different regions, just to kind of give everybody some familiarity in regards to that. And then we go through just some highlights in regards to some properties that we have as well. But I mean, in regards to the different regions, I would say there's 4 regions that are more popular. Obviously, you have different varies of Portugal where you can invest, but we'll just go through some of the more popular ones. Just starting with Lisbon, which is the capital, where there's 500. I think there's more. There's got to be a little bit more than 500 people, 500,000 people living. So the city is it's built on these 7 hills, very picturesque, very cozy, cobblestones. It's kind of funny because we had one client. I've never been to San Francisco actually, but we had one client who's from San Francisco, and if anyone built there, he said it reminded me a lot from San Francisco, with the hills, the cobblestones, the tram. I think the architect that built the 25th April Bridge here in Lisbon, I think it's the same one who built the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So if you ever been to San Francisco, I think Lisbon would remind you a little bit about that. So narrow streets, very kind of cozy. You pop in, have your coffee, have your wine, maybe late dinner. And in regards to the area, it's very English friendly as well. So it's obviously Lisbon is one of the most oldest cities in Europe. Dates back almost 2,000 years. And you have the culture, art, museums, a lot of things, very kind of trendy in regards to that, and obviously big in tourism as well. So yeah. So and then we go through an area called Cascais. So Cascais is where I live. It's a coastal town, 20 minutes outside of Lisbon. It's been very popular due to, obviously here you have some of the nicer beaches. You have a big Sintra National Park, where people you go to the national park, and you go to the beaches, and you have some of the combined with Lisbon, you have some really good international schools as well. I think there's 5 or 6 really high-end top international schools just in the little region of Cascais. So it's been very popular for people who like the outdoor activities, golf, hiking trails, etc. in regards to that. Combine that with kind of the beaches, international schools, and just being 20 minutes outside of Lisbon, and I would say 30-35 minutes to the airport. So very attractive area as well in regards to that. So here in Cascais, obviously you have apartments but this is kind of more residentials, more houses, villas and stuff like that, what you would find. And then you have an area called Algarve, which is the southernmost part, the south of Lisbon. Here you have amazing beaches. I mean, absolutely amazing beaches. It's very famous for. Hold on. Oh, there you go. So,
hey, Yara, before you continue, whoever's not on mute, can you please go on mute? I think there's one participant who's not on mute.
I think I sorted that out now.
Is that okay? All right.
Okay. No, so in regards to the Algarve, so you have amazing beaches, and obviously, so one of the things that, I mean, I'm not a big golf player, but one of the things that Portugal is very famous for in regards to kind of people coming here is, number one, it's a golf mecca, right? So you have golf courses all over the country, and then the wine. So very world-renowned wine and golf courses, and some of the best golf courses in the world are actually in this area, Algarve, which is the southern part of Portugal. Yeah, so the Algarve region is so we have around 7 million visitors a year, so very popular in regards to tourism. You have areas like Albufeira, Vilamura, Lagos, Faro, which is all kind of very popular for tourism in regards to that. You also have amazing countryside, not only the beaches, but you have the Ria Formosa Natural Park, which is an amazing place. In Algarve, I would say the property you find here is usually villas, usually vacation rentals. It's very popular from the Portuguese market as well. So you have a lot of Portuguese people who come here during the summer times, who either own a property or rent properties here to kind of enjoy all this amazing sceneries. Then kind of moving on to one of the second biggest cities in Portugal, which is Porto. So Porto is located on the northern part of Portugal. It's the second largest city in Portugal, and it's known for, obviously, you have historic center here in Porto, up in an area called the Douro Valley, is where some of the best wines in the world are getting produced. So if you're a wine enthusiast, it's a must to visit. I mean, I've been there a couple of times. It's just absolutely breathtaking, and you have some really amazing wine there as well. And it's known for its arts, culture scene. Obviously, you see in the picture there, it's a riverfront city, just like Lisbon. So you have this amazing kind of beach walks in regards to the river, and in regards to it. And it's very popular also in regards to the Americans. So here you can find property prices a little bit cheaper than the Lisbon. But I mean, prices are going up there as well. But here there's a lot of investments getting done in regards to kind of buy and rent out to the local market as well. So a lot of investments is going towards Porto. Obviously, it's the main city of the northern part of Portugal. So it's kind of definitely booming and growing as well. So that was a little bit about kind of Porto, and then you have an area called Comporta. So let me see if I can move this a bit. So here, yeah, exactly. So Comporta is a small town located in Alentejo region. Alentejo region is more in the central of Portugal, where they produce also some of the best wines in the world. So Comporta is known for, I mean, just amazing beaches. I mean, like unspoiled nature life. You have a very laid back lifestyle in regards to kind of the kind of vibe of it. And it's getting very popular in regards to people kind of looking to invest or even live there right now. So I would say Comporta, I mean, I would say, JB, it's kind of a little bit of the Hamptons of Portugal, if you will. So very much the sand dunes, very popular also for the local kind of people, in regards to people who are living in Lisbon, because it's just an hour away from Lisbon. It's very kind of, it's within reach to drive, and it's very popular now in regards to kind of the area. One of the main reasons why it's such a popular destination, and why people are choosing to invest and live there is because it's unspoiled area. and the government, the municipality in that area are doing everything they can to kind of preserve that wildlife and preserve that nature. So kind of building there is very restricted in what you can do, just to make sure that everything is kept as good as possible in regarding that. So you can't really build on the beach. You have very limitations what you can build, but that also gives you a very beautiful nature. So if you're ever in Lisbon, it's definitely an area you need to visit. And Comporta has also become a very popular destination for high net worth individuals, celebrities who are looking to escape kind of city life, if you will, due to here it's very secluded area, right? So you have small condominiums, very kind of it's an exclusive area with properties located in kind of secluded areas as well. So it's becoming very popular, and you have this amazing beaches as well.
Can you get Valentina?
In regards to that, hold on one.
Down the street, so just have this lady should come to my office.
1 second.
Okay,
Great.
Okay.
She's gonna come in from school anyway, right?
fucking hate school, yeah, they just don't wanna take liability in case something's wrong with her.
Can't believe it.
Guys, someone's on mute.
I got it. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay, so just to kind of give you an overhead, I thought it would be interesting also that this is just some of the celebrities that chose to kind of invest in Portugal, just to kind of let you know. So obviously, Madonna has been here for a long time. She has a house here in Sintra. She has also a property here in Lisbon. You have Nicole Kidman just bought an apartment in Lisbon, in Paris North, close to the airport. John Malkovich has been a huge kind of spokesperson for Portugal. He has a house in Algarve. I think he also have an apartment in Lisbon. Gwyneth Paltrow has an apartment in Lisbon. If you have a wife who likes shoes, there's this famous shoe designer called Christian Louboutin, who's one of the biggest shoe designers in the world. He has a property in Comporta and is currently building a hotel there as well. Sharon Stone has a property in Comporta, just bought recently, as well as George Clooney being a big advocate as well for Comporta region. Scarlett Johansson owns also a property here in Lisbon as well. So I thought it could be interesting. Obviously, Christian Louboutin is not American, not what do I know, but the rest of the people are Americans in regards to that. So I just thought it would be interesting to kind of understand a little bit about who's kind of buying here and how's it been going for kind of in regards to the general American demand. So before I kind of continue, so okay, so yeah, we go there. So yeah, so a little bit about, so JB and me are also working on we're also working on selling some villas here. This is some of the properties, just a couple that we're working on. Obviously, if you have any questions regarding anything regarding Portugal, feel free to reach out, and we'll try to kind of either now, and we'll try to do a little bit Q&A once we're done, or you can reach out to JB and we can kind of schedule a Zoom or kind of answer some questions you have. This is just to kind of give you an overview about Portugal, but I hope to kind of sparked an interest in regards to that. So here's one villa that we're selling. This is inside Comporta. So this is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath villa that's currently will be starting construction soon. It has obviously a pool, a heated pool, parking for 6. You have a big land. So you have the land is 58,000 square meters, which I would say is around 14 acres of land. And you have a 950 square meter villa, which I think would be around 10,000, a little bit north of 10,000 square feet of house. So this is a very beautiful contemporary house with all the kind of accessories and everything you can kind of think about in regards to kind of that. I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit of pictures. So this is inside the Comporta. So it's like I mentioned, so it's on a 14 acres land. So it's a big land. This is the living room area. So you can kind of see you're surrounded by This is also what I mentioned regarding the Comporta region. You're surrounded by these amazing pine trees and eucalyptus trees as well. Inside you have the heated pool, big open spacious living room, wooden floors. You have this nice contemporary open concrete ceiling, and kind of these big windows that can obviously retract as well. Everything in Portugal, I would say, is kind of indoor outdoor living in regards to the area. So kind of being close to nature is one of the key factors of the kind of living in the Comporta, and this kind of the house reflects that as well. This is one of the bedrooms that that kind of connects to the outdoor patio as well, together with the pool. All these rooms are 35 square meter plus, so it's big, spacious, high ceiling rooms with very contemporary modern art design as well. So like I mentioned, outdoor, indoor living. This is all what kind of that region of Comporta is about, kind of escaping and having privacy, being close to nature. Once again, here we are in the living room again. You have, I don't know what you call this in English, where you have the kind of what's those trees when you have trees inside? It's called atrium, maybe an atrium.
Atrium.
Atrium, yeah, exactly. Yeah, an atrium in regards to that as well. So yeah, so continue here. Like I said, indoor outdoor living, that's what it's all about in regards to this villa. So that was Comporta. So this is one of the villas we're also listing. Is this villa is inside a golf condominium called Herdade Aroeira, which is located around 20 minutes outside of Lisbon, right? So south of Lisbon. So this condominium is an exclusive condominium where you have 2 golf courses, you have a hotel, you have a spa, you have all the kind of shops, cafes, restaurants, and you are literally 7 to 10 minutes driving outside of the beach, which is a really nice beach area as well, where you have beach lounges, and kind of a great way to live. So this is going to be, they're starting construction this year. So this is a 700 square meter villa, which is, I think, around 7,500 square feet. The land is, the plot of land which is built on is 1,040, which would be around 11,000, a little bit north of 11,000 square feet land. You have 4 bedrooms, 4 bathroom, all suites, parking for 2 to 3 cars. This villa is located on the first line of the golf condominium. And then you have obviously heated floor, all the packs in regards to kind of all the amenities you could kind of ever want in regards to the house. So if you're looking at the house, imagine yourself behind you, that will be the golf course, right? So sorry, yeah, exactly. So similar style here, very open, spacious living rooms, 35 square meter plus rooms, high ceilings, open concept. Everything is indoor, outdoor living. Same thing here in the living room, kind of open concept, indoor, outdoor living, open kitchen, all the kind of top end appliances, obviously, and then you have the pool in front of you. And also in this house, there will also be a secondary pool, which is located on the basement floor. So you have an indoor and an outdoor pool, sauna, a spa area as well. So very much kind of all the amenities you can ever want in regards to a house. So it's very much kind of the top in regards to kind of the areas. Obviously, here's another picture about the living room and the kitchen. So yeah, so that's just kind of to give you an overhead in regards to what we have in regards to houses. Obviously, if you're kind of curious about anything, feel free to reach out. I'm gonna stop here maybe. So there you go. There you go. Okay. So that's a little bit about Portugal. I hope everybody got a little bit of a broad overview of what to expect. Let's see if we can have, do we have any questions here? Let's see.
Matt is asking something, I think. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you Art, for the
Yeah.
overview and description. And I'm just a way of introduction. I'm very good friends with. I'm lucky enough to be friends with JB. And he asked me to get on this call. At first, I was a little reluctant, didn't know what to expect. I own and operate a title insurance company in the U.S.
Right.
And I think that Nest Seekers, we are our Nest Seekers national preferred title company. But I had the opportunity to go to Portugal on a golf trip, so it speaks to a little bit of what you were speaking about in the country back in October, and loved it. I actually played too much golf and didn't get to see enough of the country. Would like to spend more time in Lisbon, Algarve. Did make it to Sintra, which is really nice as well. But a lot of what you spoke about really resonated with me, because you see a lot of not just Americans, Canadians, but international people buying second homes and potentially retiring there, and you kind of get the understood very quickly the vibe and the reasons why. And I loved it. And one of my questions I really had to start with is what would a starter home in Portugal run you, and what would the carrying costs be without potentially like a mortgage, because that's an exterior part of the purchasing process. But like, what would that cost? And just where I would like to be, I'll put in mind. So I stayed in Cascais, mainly spent a little time in Lisbon, and I'm a water person. So I would like to like, what would a starter home be from somewhere near the water, from the Cascais to Lisbon area? Maybe a home, a piece of land and a home, and then maybe a condo be worth, or starter somewhere to really get my thought process going, and what else is out there available, as opposed to the beautiful property you just put forth to us.
All right. Thanks for that question. Do everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would say in regards to starter homes, I would say if you're thinking about square meters, all right. So I would say in Lisbon, you're looking at somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 euros per square meter, somewhere around that. And then you have, but obviously these are mostly apartments in the Lisbon region. And then if you kind of continue west towards Cascais and along the water, you have, I would say you're around the 5 to 6 square meter, 5 to 6,000 per square meter. Once you pass Belém towards Oeiras. So it's a little bit difficult to answer that full question, but I would say if you're calculating somewhere around 6,000 per square meter, 6,000 euros per square meter, I think you would kind of see that you would find something in regards to that. Obviously, houses along the waters are in high demand, and there's not a lot of things getting kind of coming to the market in bulk, if you will, in regards to areas by the water. But just to kind of give you something to kind of take home, I would say if you're calculating around 6,000 per square meters from Cascais to Lisbon, I think you'll able to find something. Just also to kind of take in consideration also when you're buying a home in Portugal is the taxes. So usually I always recommend clients that if you calculate an additional 8% on top of your purchase price, you would be in a safe zone in regards to paying the taxes. One of the biggest part of that 8% is the IMT tax, which is basically the government property tax that you will be paying. And then you are paying also independent upon what area you're selling in, what area you're buying in, you're paying also the municipality tax and some stamp duties. But the majority part of that 8% is the IMT tax, which is the property tax. So add on an extra 8% on top of that. So just to kind of be in the safe zone. But I mean, I hope, Matt, you're coming back. I don't play a lot of golf, but I'm trying to become a surfer. This is my goal. I'm still failing as 7 years in, but I'm keeping hope alive.
I love it. I do just want to add, for the folks that are on here and
I
of the-
was on mute there too, but yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm not a great golfer either. I just like to enjoy myself. And like I said, wish I played less golf and saw more of the country because it's so beautiful. I didn't get enough time there, but I'm definitely gonna try to get there within the next year as well.
Okay.
I
Wonderful.
appreciate all the knowledge you're bringing to the table here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Sure.
I think I'm just looking through here. Okay. Oh, I think hold on. I think that's if there's no more questions, I mean, obviously people have, if you don't have, feel free to reach out if you don't have our contact info here. And we can kind of also answer any questions that might be popping up after you kind of have some food for thoughts. But I mean, like I said, we just want to keep this brief, keep this short, and just kind of give you some overhead info in regards to Portugal and why people are kind of investing here and looking at this as an option. And obviously kind of moving things forward, feel free to reach out and we can kind of dive in deeper in specifics and see where it leads. JB, do you have anything to say also?
Yard, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say, just for those who are on here, you know, part of the reasons why I was so interested in Portugal is it reminds me a lot of my home that I love so much here in the Hamptons. And seems like a lot of these new luxury sub neighborhoods, markets offer different things for different folks, whether it's you like the beach or you really enjoy wineries or farm to table. There's different areas for everyone. And it reminds me of the Hamptons in a lot of ways. The difference there is that there's more opportunities there now to get in and build your dream home or work with a renowned developer that can build you your dream home. Places like out in the Hamptons right now, places I see Benjamin and Stephanie who are on from South Florida, we're running out of land here. And a lot of these opportunities to get in are so scarce and becoming just really for the elite and the ultra wealthy, where not a lot of that middle to upper class, a lot of the everyday people we work with can get into. So I think places like, you know, Comporta and some along the coast, there's neighborhoods where you can really get in and you'll see an appreciating asset. You'll be able to make that rental revenue up in a heartbeat. And it's just an exciting time, I think, for Portugal. And, you know, really the main reason I'm here with you, Yared, and really excited to see what happens with these properties and see what the future holds for us there.
Yep. I mean, I couldn't agree more in regards to that. So, I mean, I think obviously here as well is, I also see this correlation regarding tourism and also investment. I think, I mean, we're talking a lot about America today, but I think last year they were on the top in regards to visitors, tourists visiting, and I think that also spills over to investment. So, so having a lot of Americans kind of coming here, enjoying, and then kind of coming back and maybe coming and starting to kind of understand all different investment options as well. So, so I think there's definitely synergy in regards to that. So, yeah. Okay. So I mean, with that said, I think I want to thank everybody for kind of tuning in and joining here. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out for JB or me, and we can kind of take things further. And yeah, thanks for everybody for taking the time. Yeah.
Thank you, Yared.
Thank
you, guys.
Thank
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, JB.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.